I'm a Russian cop in New York, part of the NYPD, with 8 years of experience. I'm on patrol in Brooklyn, mainly East Flatbush, parts of Crown Heights and Brownsville. Ask me anything. How do regular people treat Russians? I mean, not the foreign kind, but those of us who actually live here? Are we considered enemy number one? More like civilized Europeans or a third world country? And what about Putin? Do people see him as a strong leader, or more of a dictator like Saddam or Ahmadinejad? It really depends on the individual. On average, the attitude is neutral. Some folks think we're KGB agents. Others judge us based on the accent. And then there are those who are just curious. I live in NYC where most people are immigrants, so everyone has an accent. No one really cares. I've traveled around the country and mostly people are just curious about where I'm from. I've never experienced outright negativity. We're not seen as enemies, more like competition, I'd say. Do you buy donuts and coffee like in the movies? I don't eat donuts, not into sweets. I drink tea. As a professional, what's your take on how Russian police operate during public unrest compared to US police? What would happen in the US if someone resisted arrest during a protest or threw a chunk of asphalt at a cop? Tough question. About Russian police, honestly, I don't get them. I took an oath to protect the people of the city, not political parties. During Occupy Wall Street, we didn't intervene unless absolutely necessary and ignored a lot of provocations. Most of us supported the idea behind the protest, even if we didn't approve of their behavior. But when someone throws a rock at you from the crowd, the idea goes out the window. Who's your partner? How were they chosen? How do people treat Russian-speaking cops? Have you ever had to use deadly force? My current partner is a black guy from Guyana. Before that, I worked with a Chinese guy. He got promoted to sergeant. We worked together and just clicked. People treat Russian-speaking cops fine. I've never had to shoot or kill anyone. What about corruption? Have you seen it? Been offered a bribe? Suspect anyone on the force is dirty? In 8 years, not one. Never been offered a bribe, never seen anything sketchy. So if you want a drink, do you go to a cop bar? Or is that just movie stuff? Cop bars are mostly a thing of the past. These days it's all about closed private parties. A real-life American cop? That's wild. I love this site. Tell me, why does it seem like cops always use sirens when going after suspects? Like in every movie, which gives the bad guys time to run 3 blocks away. You've been watching too many movies. When it's an in-progress crime, of course we cut the siren and lights. No need to alert anyone. Are there untouchables in the US? What happens if you catch someone breaking the law and they flash a badge, say, from the state prosecutor's office? Oh, we've got untouchables, or at least people who think they are. Usually it's small-time black politicians or some ultra-Orthodox Jews. If I catch an assistant prosecutor or even the DA breaking the law, I'll arrest them. He can arrest me just the same. Show your photo. And what are those badges on your shield? From bottom to top, a memorial pin in honor of Officer Ruslan Timoshenko, who was shot while trying to apprehend a stolen vehicle. Second, a medal for good police work, reducing crime in the precinct. Third, for arresting an armed robber. The last one is just the flag. 2 questions, if I may. In movies, there's often a stereotype that cops are either paper pushers or action heroes. What percentage of your job actually involves paperwork? And the second question, have you ever had to deal with situations that don't fall under standard procedures or regulations? Have you ever encountered criminals who posed a real danger to you? First, there's a lot of paperwork. Second, yes, of course, this is real life. You can't cover every nuance with regulations. Third, every suspect is potentially dangerous. I can't read minds, so I have to be careful and able to anticipate a criminal's actions. What kind of benefits package do you get? When can you retire? And what kind of old age do you expect? Benefit packages vary depending on the contract. My starting salary was $41,000. After 5 years, it goes up to around $80,000. With overtime, it comes out to over $100,000. I get 27 vacation days, full family health coverage, unlimited sick days, and a 5-day work week. Standard retirement is after 20 years of service. You get 50% of your annual salary including overtime, plus $14,000 a year. I'm hoping for a comfortable retirement. Is it true that you're assigned a partner in the US police force? No, that's not true. You choose who you want to work with. Does the mafia still exist? What kind of gangs are around? Are there any Russian gangs? Yes, they exist, but not at the scale they used to. The Italian mafia has mostly gone legit. They run clubs, construction companies, and waste management businesses. Russian gangs are mostly into healthcare and auto insurance fraud, credit card scams, and theft. There are also Asian groups, mostly involved in drugs and prostitution. The biggest organized crime groups are African American, like the Crips and Bloods, and Latino, like the Latin Kings. What are the physical fitness standards, and how often do you have to pass them? Does the department support you staying in shape? No fitness standards after the academy, and the department doesn't sponsor anything. Do you wear that kind of cap? No, that one's for tourists. Good day. Tell us about firearm use. Are warning shots in the air allowed? When do you have the right to use a weapon? What kind of weapon, and in what situations? Taser, handgun, shotgun, etc. How often have you had to use one? What are the consequences, like from superiors or investigations? What's your preferred weapon? And wishing you a calm and incident-free service. Warning shots in the air are prohibited. I have the right to use a firearm only when there's a threat of serious injury or death. If someone comes at me with a weapon like a rock, bat, knife, or anything else that could seriously hurt or kill me or anyone else. We're also allowed to shoot at dogs if they pose a threat of physical harm. The taser is mostly used on individuals who don't comply with our commands and pose a danger to others or themselves. Anytime a shot is fired, there's first an internal investigation. If the case is questionable, then a criminal investigation may follow, and often a civil lawsuit as well. My preferred weapons are Smith & Wesson for a handgun and Remington for a shotgun, good American-made firearms. Tell us more about yourself. How did you become a police officer? How long have you lived in the U.S.? I came to New York in 1997 at the age of 20 with my parents from Odessa, Ukraine. I became a police officer because I couldn't imagine working in an office. I wanted adventure. How do local Black Americans treat you? Is it more like, you're not white, you're Russian? Or like Chris Rock joked, we don't have time to sort out the details, we hate all white people. What about racial nuances on the job? For instance, some Europeans say Black and Asian people look alike to them. Does having a Black partner help, for example, with identifying a suspect on the spot? Most Black people don't really like police, regardless of race or nationality. Having a Black partner definitely helps. He understands the culture and mindset better. Is it possible to form real close bonds with your partner? Do you visit each other? Become family friends? A friend of mine who emigrated once said, Canadians aren't too fond of home visits or hosting. Yes, close friendships are definitely possible. You go through so much together on the job that it's only natural to develop strong bonds. Some partners do visit each other's homes. Some even become like family. But that really depends on the people. As they say, he speaks their language. In my case, we rarely visit each other. We don't really hang out with our families. My current partner doesn't drink and his wife gives me the stink eye whenever I show up at their place with a bottle of vodka. I still meet up with my former partner. We have drinks and catch up now and then. What's your personal take on legalization and marijuana in general? Personally, I think both marijuana and prostitution could be legalized and tightly regulated, but only in specially designated areas under government control. First, did you go through any kind of police academy, or was it more like you saw a job ad and got hired on the spot? Second, what do you like and dislike most about the job? Third, how do people generally treat the police? Yes, every officer goes through a police academy. In New York, it's 6 months of training. But what I enjoy most is the feeling of tracking down and catching a suspect. For example, say someone just got mugged and a description of the perp comes in over the radio. You drive over to the area and start scanning the streets. A few blocks away, you spot someone matching the description. He catches your eye, realizes what's up, and bolts. You take off after him. After a short chase, you catch him, search his pockets, find the stolen phone, and hand it back to the victim. That moment, that's why I do the job. What I don't like is writing tickets. Attitudes toward police? Exactly mixed. There's plenty of negativity, sure, but a lot of support too. Depends on the person. Thanks for the post, super interesting. I've got a few questions of my own. What kind of career opportunities are there for a patrol officer? I mean, 8 years on the job is a long time. You probably hit a kind of ceiling. skill-wise? Are you thinking of moving into a more specialized role, like becoming an inspector in a specific department? Is that even realistic? Also, how seriously do officers themselves take the motto to serve and protect? And how close or how far off are shows like The Wire from what real police life is actually like? Exactly, even the officers building the actual lives, the canoozing that of how Porce, that Wakeham and that is the relating. In terms of career paths, there are two main options. You can take the promotional exams, first for sergeant, then lieutenant, then captain. Beyond that, it's all merit-based promotions at the discretion of the police commissioner. Or you can try to get into a specialized unit, narcotics, homicide, cybercrime, etc. But that depends on your experience, your reputation, and sometimes just politics. As for the motto, to serve and protect, some officers really live by it, others are more jaded. It varies a lot from person to person. And The Wire, they actually got a surprising amount right, especially the internal politics and the bureaucratic headaches. But real life has way more paperwork and a lot less drama. There's no background music in real life, and most days it's more about routine and people skills than shootouts or high-speed chases. Deputy inspector, inspector, deputy chief, assistant chief, chief. The second path is to join a specialized unit, and after 18 months, you can become a detective. Financially, the first route is better, but I've already taken the sergeant's exam twice. I'm going to take it a third time in October. On the other hand, I really like what I do, and I'm not in a hurry to leave it behind. Serve and protect is the LAPD motto. In our department, The Wire is considered a very realistic show. Good day, and thanks for the post. Tell us, what's the situation with corruption in the police, mostly in the upper ranks? On my level, I haven't personally encountered it. Hi, how do you usually spend your weekends? What about vacations? Do you ever feel like going back to your homeland? I spend weekends with my family, and on vacation I usually travel somewhere to relax. No, I don't feel any strong urge to return to the historic homeland. And when it comes to shooting, like in the movies, do you always have to aim for the chest, or is shooting at the limbs allowed? The chest is less mobile, so it's easier to hit. In stressful situations, people tend to shoot wherever they can. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing a few photos. Even phone snapshots would be great. Here's an article about how American police allegedly confiscate billions of dollars from citizens without any court orders. The link is pinned in the comments. What's your take on that? What's true and what's exaggerated? I can only speak for New York and the NYPD. Yes, I do have the authority to confiscate private property based on my judgment. For example, if I arrest someone for stealing a phone from an elderly woman, and during a search I find $1,000 in their pocket, I can assume it was stolen too, and seize it. To get that money back, the suspect has to prove in court that it legally belongs to them. And even if the cash isn't stolen, but comes from some shady or undocumented source, they can still lose it, even if they're acquitted of the phone theft. But if I give them that money back and it turns out it was stolen, that's on me. So yes, a lot of the article is true, but a lot is also overstated. If your superior gave you an order that violates the Constitution, would you follow it? He wouldn't give that kind of order, but if he did, I'd say it's an illegal order and I wouldn't follow it. Then I'd call my union representative. How many alcoholics and/or drug addicts are there in the NYPD? Do you guys get tested every morning or something? There are plenty of people who like to have a drink, but true alcoholics, in the way I understand the term, I haven't met any. As for drug addicts, none. There are no daily medical tests, but we do have random drug testing. Is phone tapping or reading emails of regular, innocent citizens a common police practice during investigations? Or is that just paranoia? I mean, do you guys only tap drug lords and spies? Wiretapping is strictly regulated. You need a judge's warrant. There has to be evidence. You can't just tap someone for no reason. What do NYPD officers think about the theory that 9/11 was an inside job? They don't believe that. Is Russian your native language? If so, how did you manage to get a job with the police? Did your country of birth cause any issues? If yes, what kind? Yes, Russian is my native language. I used to work around cops. Some of them had side jobs as security guards. I listened to their stories and realized this was my kind of thing. In college, there was an option to sign up for the entrance exam, and after 9/11, I did. I also considered joining the Marine Corps, but people talked me out of it. I had served in the military back in Ukraine, and I realized military life wasn't for me. As for my place of birth, no issues at all. Is it true there are places in Brooklyn where cops are afraid to go? Like, they show up and get shot at? No. We're supposed to be the ones in charge. Afraid? Of what? That's not how it works. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a comment below the video and let me know what you think of this story.